Alrighty, so summer's slowly approaching here in Australia, so it's nice and warm. I'm feeling motivated, and I'll just like to thank everybody for the support in the previous video. It's the best performing video in a while, which hypes me up to make more content and even think outside the box and show you guys the behind the scenes that I don't usually get to show. So back on the Supra, and there's a fair bit of things happening in today's video, so here's just a glimpse of what to expect. So the first job on the list was to bolt on the exhaust manifold onto the 2JZ for the single turbo conversion. It is made by a company called Six Boost. I've used them on my Silvias in the past, on the Skylines, RB, SR, JZ, and I'm very happy with everything. They're a very affordable manifold. They're strong, they don't crack, they're readily available. It's an Australian made product. Now the only downside is, after doing my own research and after talking to Tristan about exhaust manifold designs, I've come to a conclusion that from here on, I'm going to be building my own exhaust manifolds for each build. I think that we can squeeze out a lot more note or sound as opposed to what's available currently on the market. That obviously does come at a cost, possibly double of what the Six Boost manifolds are advertised for. The materials are more expensive. The labor involved to actually produce the manifold is a lot more tedious. So once again, to have something that's off the shelf, readily available at a great cost, I think is an awesome option. So the turbo I've decided to use is a Pulsar G35 1050. The front housing has a T51R mod. The rear housing is both V-band in and out, and it's 0.83. It's very affordable, and it's probably it is the biggest turbo I've ever purchased, but this is also the biggest engine I've ever played with, which is a 3-litre with high compression pistons being the GE bottom end, along with a VVTi cylinder head, and we're going to be playing with a little bit of ethanol. So I think everything should be just fine. As for the knock sensors, I've switched to a Bosch unit. I've purchased 2 original Toyota knock sensor studs, threaded them into the block, slid the Bosch sensor over it and tightened it with a Nordlock washer and made sure that it was torqued to spec. So the transmission that's going behind the 2JZ is a Tremec TR6060. This particular one came out of a VE Commodore. I've removed the LS bell housing and installed a custom-made cast aluminium Castlemaine rod shop 2JZ to TR6060 bell housing. It's a direct bolt-on, it's super easy, and being made out of aluminium, which is a softer material than steel, the vibrations that come from the engine through the gearbox and into the chassis or into the car should be completely like factory, so we shouldn't have any excess vibration or road noise coming through the car. So other components you're going to need for this transmission swap to work is a Malex Motorsport shifter relocation kit and also a 3-bolt uni adapter. So the factory external shifter sits way too far back and you can either modify it or replace it. The reason I decided not to modify it is because I believe the actual experience of driving a car, the shifter feel is very important. I hate notchy shifters, I hate short shifters. I prefer an OEM throw that feels nice and tight, and that's exactly what the shifter does. So for me to go out, send the car out, have it modified, potentially not be happy with it, and labor in Australia is very expensive. For me, that headache is solved with adding a little bit of extra money and having a bolt-on solution that works. So I'm very happy with the shifter. I haven't driven the car yet, but just playing around with it bolted to the transmission, I can already tell that this is exactly what I want. As I mentioned, the factory external shifter sits way too far back. It doesn't actually protrude through the factory manual transmission tunnel, whilst the Malex Motorsport one comes straight out the middle, problem solved. Oh, mate! Yes, boy. Time for the engine to go in. Super exciting moment because this car has never had an engine in it since I've owned it, and for many, many years. I decided to drop the engine in separate from the actual transmission just to make sure nothing gets scratched up. Now, the reason I didn't have a clutch bolted to the back of the flywheel is because I don't have a clutch yet, and I needed to send this car out to Tristan to have it wired up and the tail shaft measured. So we just needed a gearbox in there for the time being.
Especially like ice cold pints. Alright, let's do it. Do you want to operate the forklift and I'll do the engine? Alright. Yeah. Mate, I'd trust this cunt to drive my boat to this fucking space station, eh? He can just do anything, eh? Alright, stop. Then go this way. Alright, slowly get in. I'm looking on that side. Hang on, I gotta... Down? Yep. I will see you in about half hour. Please. Hello, YouTube!
So at the end of last year towards Christmas, I got a massive order coming from Raceworks. They included all the NOx sensors, R35 GTO coil packs, injectors, Bosch Motorsport sensors, drive-by-wire pedal, throttle body, aluminium donuts, AN lines and fittings, tools, you name it, it was all in there. Now, I can't showcase any of that because it's still a massive work in progress still. So there's no point of me showing you guys some of the progress I've made. People screenshotting my setup, trying to replicate it on their builds and realizing it doesn't work. So let me finalize everything. Let me become happy with the setup, and then I can share every single part number and you know exactly what to purchase, because otherwise going out on your own purchasing excessive lines and fittings gets pretty expensive. So the next job on the list was to load up the Supra onto the trailer and send it to Tristan at WTF Auto for a custom wiring harness. It's one of those jobs that I do want to learn. It's just this isn't the car for it. I've learned enough things already. Let's expand on the next project. So I want to have this car on the road relatively soon, hence outsourcing this job. The harness is already 80% complete. Plugs that we were missing are now in, all the factory brand new OEM items. So when the car goes back to Tristan next time, it's going to have a clutch, a drive shaft, and it's pretty much going to be ready for its first start and potentially even put on a dyno for an engineer to come out, do some emissions tests and get us a step closer for this car being legal and roadworthy. So after that, it was time to put the fuel lines in, and I do this every single time. I get too excited to see this car's a rolling shell. I put the rear subframe in, but the fuel lines always have to come before that, and I've done this on every single car, and I've made the mistake again. So you guys remember that we used the black target top for fabrication purposes. The drivetrain that is currently in the green Supra was once in the black Supra. We scratched that one up, we didn't really care. We got all the fabrication done, and the plan was when the green car is painted, we would transfer everything into the green car, bolt-on solution, nothing gets scratched. Now that didn't really go to plan because the dump pipe, at the time, the way we built it, I thought I was going to be happy with. After seeing some new designs, I've realized that we can simplify this, make it more visually appealing as well. So we're going to have to rectify a couple of issues, but for the most part, we're looking pretty good. So the brand new Series 2 headlights and tail lights were purchased from Elliot at City Toyota, and yeah, they look sick.
Wait up!
How many sausages?
Oh, I have 3.
3!
Yeah, how many do you want?
Our front lip was fitted as well. It's just an aftermarket item. It doesn't really matter who you buy it off because realistically, they all come out of the same factory. They've just been rebranded. It's going to get painted satin black in the future, so that's on the front bumper as well. So the front end isn't bolted down permanently. It was just put together so parts aren't laying around everywhere, and for me to see what this project is starting to look like. Get a couple of Instagram posts out, get people hyped on the build. So approaching the end of another video slowly. My vocabulary or my stance was probably a little bit more transactional today. I just want to get the points done and dusted, go home, edit this video. Hopefully the next video I can get a little bit more creative once again. My new goal is every 2 weeks I would like to post a video, whether it's in the workshop, out of the workshop, whatever it might be. Content will come naturally with this Toyota Supra. In 6 days I could probably film 6 videos to spam over 3 months. You know what I mean? While currently the videos are very expensive, they're very time consuming. Bear with me, I just want to post good stuff. I don't want to bore you guys or anything like that. And that'll be it for another video. Let me know how it went in the comments below. This format really does suit me, just sitting on a chair, retelling the story. I can't talk to a camera when I'm physically working on the car because half the time I'm trying to figure it out myself and it just doesn't work out. So hopefully in 2 weeks, we'll see you again.